Yes, I think I'm live. Okay, so I've come on a live because I'm hopefully going to invite Trans Truther on to have a chat, but I've never done this before, so I'll have to see if I can find her and add it. Request to join your room. Invite. So Trans Truth has some perspectives about what's going on with the New World Order agenda and the whole LGBT agenda that's going on. So really, we've wanted to invite on for quite a long time. We keep missing each other, so hopefully we're going to do it tonight and just talk about a few things that should be quite eye-opening, I think, hopefully. Let's have a look, see what else I can do. Huh. No problem. She's here. Yes, I'm hoping the more different people we get to come on to talk, like I talked with Indigo before and Kaja, the more we can raise awareness within the LGBT community. What's up? 2 seconds. Let me send the request again.
Shit. Hello?
Oh, I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Oh, shit. Hang on.
Yes, I can see you now.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry about that. I was having a carbonara.
That's fine.
How
So
are you?
I'm so glad we've finally been able to do this because we've been talking about doing it for ages. So yeah,
Oh my god, I know. I'm going to let you go first after my tantrum yesterday.
Well, you did say bring your notes, so I've actually got some questions. If you wanted to start with some questions, or if you prefer to just start with just saying who you are and what you stand for and stuff, and then I could try asking questions and just see how it goes.
Well, my stance has changed. My stance has changed. Before, I was always vehemently against a lot of stuff, but it's kind of got a bit too right-wingy for me, so I have got a bit more to the left again.
Yeah. I can see why that is because, as you know, I've been speaking out against the homophobia and transphobia that exists within the Truther movement as well. So I'm not one to deny that it's not there. I know some people do tend to deny that it's there, and I don't think that's right. You know, when people say nobody cares if people are gay anymore, nobody cares about trans, we just want to protect the kids. And I thought, well, that's not true, really, is it? Because some people do care, and transparency is the best way forward. And if people are, you know, gaslighting people about that, it doesn't exactly build trust, does it? So I can understand why people don't trust the movement.
When did you see the pendulum start to swing?
I've not, but to be honest, I think last year, I noticed it. I started noticing it getting bad because in 2020 and even over 2021, our priorities were so focused on what was going on with the pandemic and everything like that, that this wasn't as much of an issue. It's only been like over the last year and a half, I would say, that it started to get really bad. Well, that's when I've noticed it anyway. Like when it's gotten really bad. So yeah, what would you say?
Probably this year. Probably this year. I think it's really insidious. I definitely think that I'm always up for having a nuanced debate about, I don't think any group should be infallible to having a debate or being talked about, whether you're black, Jewish, tranny, whatever. I think there should always be a nuanced debate with everyone. There are rotten eggs in every walk of life. But when I started to realize that American evangelicals were funding a lot of this, you know, what they did in Uganda is disgusting.
Yeah, I agree.
It's disgusting. And that affects you mainly. That's not really about trans. That was about gay people.
Yeah, I know. It was
You know, I'm really angry about it all, to be quite honest with you. I'm going to be on my soapbox tonight.
No, I agree because you know, like I was a bit annoyed that the people who are awake are not really talking about this, and they'll say that all these agendas are being pushed because they're favouring LGBT people, so that we're getting more privilege than everybody else. And it's like, well, if we look at the whole world, that's not really true, is it? Because the West, where it's happening, is actually a minority, because most other countries in the world are still very homophobic and still punishable. It's still punishable by death in a lot of countries.
Well, they always say, well, what rights have you got that I don't have? Well, I can't enter 67 countries. Neither can you, Rob. So I've got 67 rights that I'm lacking compared to you. That's just off the top of my head, you know.
Yeah.
I just think it's really disgusting, and it's a scapegoat for the churches. Don't get me wrong. I don't like the drag queens twerking in front of children. I don't particularly like trans and women's sports, but I'm not a drag queen. I'm not a teacher. I'm not putting these curriculums in schools. I'm not working on a sports body. So why is it like a complete tarnish of everybody? Do you know, some of the messages that we have both received have been so fucking disgusting.
I've shared them on my page.
Unbelievably shameful. I am so angry. I don't want any part of activism anymore at the minute, the way I'm feeling.
Yeah, I know. I've felt like that for a while, but I've started to come back to it. And maybe I shouldn't, but I just feel like I really have to. Like I was really going to try. I really went through a phase where I thought, you know what? For me, it was like, yeah, it has been over this year where it's just, you know, go on social media and everyone's just talking about it all the time. And you see posts that you think, okay, I can put up with that, I can accept that. And then you start reading more comments, and you see a lot of them are the evangelical, you know, very extremist religious types that say really hateful things that they don't realize are hateful, because, you know, they think that they're speaking religiously.
Yeah. Well, let's call them what they are, darling. Cunts.
Yeah.
Sorry, but luckily, I'm not gonna lie. So anyway, right. So you start a topic, go on, because this is kind of off the cuff. And okay, do you want to talk about why I was upset yesterday? Because I'm happy to do that.
Yeah, sure.
I just think that this whole LGB get rid of the T and Q shit is really insidious. It is really insidious. And actually, like this Becky Weiss and all these twats at Gays Against Groomers that seriously think that evangelicals aren't going to come for you next. Sorry, did you not realise what happened in Uganda? Like, it's okay to go for the tranny, the visual, the one that's, you know, the space invader and the pronoun police and stuff, but you're next. You are next. So this whole LGBT leave the T thing, I just think it's toxic. I think we're stronger as a unified group. And if I was an evangelical, or I was an insidious religion that hated us, I would want to fragment that. Isn't that the New World Order playbook? Like, divide them into smaller and smaller chunks and play them off against each other?
Yeah, absolutely, and I agree with you. But I think my idea of it was, I guess I thought that, do we even need to have an acronym to represent us?
No, it's very culty. It's very culty, the alphabet police shit. I get all that. It is very cultish. I get that. But then what is the easy way to describe yourself if you're part of the community? What do you say? You know, now you're getting into semantics.
Yeah.
Go on, honey. You were quiet tonight.
I was just thinking, but I'll ask you this one, okay? Do you think, well, we've already covered this a bit already, but do you think the LGBT community has been hijacked? And if so, who's behind it and to what end?
Of course, the elites have got their pie and everything. Of course they have. They want gender wars with trans and women, and they want to try and get sexuality and gender identity separated. It's the same as anything. Catholics versus Protestants versus Church of England versus evangelicals versus Mormons versus, you know, Sunni Muslims, Pashtun Muslims. It's the same in everything. It's always fragmented and they're always played off against each other. Why would the gay community be any different? Or LGBT community, or LGB community, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, well, like I always say, it's really funny that we call it the LGBT community, because my understanding of the word community is it just means common unity.
And we're all cunty to each other.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that. We're all bitchy to each other. Everyone knows that. Vicious queen shit. Of course.
Only common unity that we have is the fact that we're all not heterosexual. That is our only common unity. Yet the elites have made it this thing that everybody has to fit into, to the point where they've manufactured its culture, its very culture, you know, the music, the scene, how you're supposed to behave. Like, I really feel like it's been very manufactured from the beginning. And that's not to say there weren't good people in the LGBT movement all the way through, but I think there's been a hidden hand all along the way, just as there has been with BLM and other, and you know, Extinction Rebellion and everything else, you know. And
this is the Indigo child. This is the guy that I was messaging that I was pissed off about the video.
Why were you pissed off with him?
Because I think it was him that posted the meme about shit. He posted some meme and it really pissed me off. Do you want to invite him in? Because I don't mind.
Why? I'll see. It depends. I'll see what happens. It's okay if he doesn't accept.
You know? Well, I don't mind either way.
Yeah.
Don't want to talk about him and not give him a chance to speak if he doesn't want to. Yeah,
but the full videos on YouTube, so I will send the link to that, because we talked about a lot of stuff, and I think it'd be better if we got coming on now, hopefully. Yeah. Hi.
Well, go on, Rob.
So, hi.
Hello, sister. What's your name?
I'm the one that messaged you and sent you that comment.
Okay, cool. So everything you've just said in the last 5 minutes, I agree with. So I'm unsure why you think that I was using children to be homophobic.
I just think that it's a way of, do you know what I mean? Attention grabbing, it's the stuff like that. I don't think what this country's currently facing, don't get me wrong, I believe it is propaganda, some of it, but I don't think it's the number one thing, the pronoun police thing. I think the collapsing of the NHS is more important. The housing crisis is more important. I get that there's propaganda, and I'm sorry, you are a member of the black community. Do you not think there's propaganda going on with BLM?
BLM is one of the most stupid satanic organizations on the planet, designed to create disharmony between black and white people.
Why can't you see that with Gays Against Groomers?
No, I see that with the organization of LGBT as well. At the top level, it's funded by Satanists.
Isn't everything? Isn't the phone we're all holding made by Satanists and corporations and stuff like that?
100% agree, Morgan. I 100% agree, Morgan. For sure.
I just think it was like, I didn't watch the full video. I held my hands up there and I kind of bit the gun a bit early with Rob probably. But you've got to understand, when it's like boom, 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 it does become a bit like an echo chamber of just like tranny bashing.
I respect that. Definitely. It's difficult. And you know, I guess the reason I'm currently speaking about it, and I speak about many issues all the time. I don't, you know, I'm never just online talking specifically about LGBT. This is just what I'm speaking about this week, because it has now made it to headline news. And so that's just the only reason I've decided to
I
just
don't
put my
watch the
kind of two
mainstream
pence
news. What
in.
are they saying?
They're saying in the newspapers that 9-year-olds should be able to masturbate for
Have they
homework.
actually said that?
And they're using the vehicle.
I
Yeah.
don't know school curriculum.
Whether they
I
said it
don't
or
know school
whether they said it or
curriculum.
not, Morgan.
And by the way, I don't think anyone LGBT is really part of school curriculum activity.
I agree, and I'm sure you agree, Rob. You're both part of the maybe you are. I don't know if you identify with it, but you may be part of the LGBT community. You seem like beautiful people that wouldn't want to hurt children. So
I
I
said it's
agree with
really
you. Like you said,
sad to
Morgan.
Rob earlier. I think it's really
Everything.
sad because I'm obviously never going to have my own children because I'm a transsexual, but I don't even feel like I can, do you know what I mean? Like, oh, that's a nice doll, or do you know what I mean? Even interact with a child anymore because it's so like, oh my God, do you know what I mean? There's such a like magnifying glass. It's horrible. Do you know what I'm saying? To feel vilified for something you wouldn't even dream of doing, hurting a kid.
That's why, and you may have not felt this by watching my posts, but I actually stand fully by your side and believe that you need Morgan. You need to be the most incredible person ever to prove that actually I have nothing to do with the agenda that these Satanists are bringing into schools. As you've said, and you've admitted you're ignorant to
I
the
know
agenda because you don't
I'm
listen to
ignorant to
you're
school
not sure.
curriculum.
Okay, yeah. So that's the reason I was specifically using children, in this circumstance, because it's getting dangerous, 9-year-olds, whether, like you said, Morgan, whether an actual teacher said it or not, the fact is that's on a newspaper that hundreds of millions of people are now having access to. So that's just why that dialogue
Do you
was
not think it's a
happening this week,
culture thing,
Morgan.
though? Do you not think they're trying to push a culture war?
Morgan, if you ask my opinion, I think they want me to hate you because you're a transsexual, so you're a paedophile. I believe that's what they want. They want black people to hate white people. They want people to attack you, Rob. They want people to go onto the streets and go, "Are you gay? Well, fuck you. You're the problem. I hate you. You're a paedophile. It's because of you our children have disgusting ideologies." And I 100% know, Morgan and Rob, that's not your agenda. It's not the agenda of 99.999% of all LGBT people, actually. But they're using that vehicle, like they're using the pain of my ancestors
Right.
and slavery with Black Lives Matter to bring about an agenda. And unfortunately, right now, you're the targets, LGBT culture.
Rob, do
Yeah,
you
and
want
in the
to
same
say something?
trauma against us as well. They're using LGBT trauma, the trauma that we've experienced personally, the trauma that we've seen on TV and movies and what we've read about, and all of the stuff that's real as well. And they're using all of that trauma to get us to already fear and hate and not trust the heterosexual community, so that we get bitter and hateful against them. And then they see that, and all they see is us being bitter and hateful when they don't see the pain that we've been manipulated into, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean?
But I get that there's a nuanced conversation to be had. I don't really think transsexuals should be in some sports. Of course not. There is just a bone difference. It doesn't matter if hormones change or muscle mass or whatever. There is a conversation to be had. But I hate the fucking veiled save the children shit, because I know no any child getting hurt is awful, but when you look at the churches and there's a skyscraper on fire and then there's a doghouse on fire, which is LGBT abuse. Don't get me wrong, abuse is abuse, but do you want to deal with the skyscraper of abuse, or do you want to deal with the doghouse? I just feel like it's completely enabling the churches to get away with what they're doing, because they are raping kids. But I haven't seen you post that about. I haven't seen you post about churches once, Indigo. Not once.
But Morgan,
Yeah,
you
but
followed me
it's
about
a good
3
thing I
days
had a
ago.
flick through your profile, then, isn't it, sweetheart? Well,
What do you mean by
I
that?
didn't see any recent posts about the churches, about the Vatican or pastors.
Well, Morgan, listen, with respect, you don't know me. I don't know if you know this, Rob, but I literally have been posting about a multitude of things all the time, and I actually kind of delete stuff quite often. I deactivate my account a lot. Like Instagram to me is again a satanic app. I try not to put too much energy into it. But I could speak to you so much about religion, controlled religion. I could speak to you about the Dalai Lama putting his tongue in a child's mouth only recently. We could speak about all of this, but you know, right now in this moment, we're just talking about how your beautiful culture and your freedom to do what you want in this life is being weaponized to bring about dark agendas to children. That's my only conversation right now.
Do you not agree, though, that some children can have identity issues?
Oh, 100%. This is the thing, Morgan. It's a very grey area. Of course, there's children that have gender problems, and education and sex education needs to be improved in school. But when you're telling children to learn about anal sex, or to masturbate at 9 years old, or children who don't believe that there's more than 3 genders, and that's their true belief when they're being kicked out of sex education class, or when teachers are now bringing in litter trays to children that identify with cats, which is what literal parents in the comments are telling me. I believe that something just needs to be had to bring a bit of balance to this, and to make sure that these Satanists that are currently putting on the disguise of LGBT can't go along with this agenda. Because Morgan and Rob, it is not you. You're my brothers and my sisters. Like, it's not you. But they're using your pain to do their agenda, just like they used the pain of black people in slavery to bring
How
about
did
what they
you
did in
feel then
2020.
when it was when you were on the front line and BLM was being rammed down everyone's throat? How did you navigate that?
I navigated it by exposing it instantly. I navigated it by showing people that they were putting bricks on the streets the night before the protests in order I exposed it, Morgan. That's what I did. And I made sure that I showed every single person that I had an interaction with that I am I'm an honest black man, and you could trust me, and not to believe the propaganda. That's what I did.
Well, that's fair enough. I don't know. It's just frustrating.
Well, I just
It's
want to say
just
thank you for having me on the
frustrating.
call, by the way. So I just wanted to say thank you for having me on the call. You didn't have to. So
The
thank
moment
you
things.
for
I do
letting me just speak.
apologize for it being so spur of the moment, but you know, but yeah, thank you so much for joining us for a bit. I really appreciate it.
Whose call was this?
Man.
Who's the main person who started it? Is it yours, Rob? Man, add me as an affiliate.
Yeah,
I'd love to have this on my page
I'll
as well.
figure out how to do that somehow.
Could you do that for me as well, please?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm definitely going to post it afterwards. So yeah.
Morgan, is there anything you would like to ask me? Because you sent me 4 voice notes, and I didn't
Yeah.
listen to it. But
Well, one of them was about the
it now
churches.
publicly.
Just how come you've not spoke about them as much? I get the whole school curriculum stuff, but that is really an issue for school boards. I don't really see how that falls onto your average transsexual. Like the sports thing, the spaces thing, I can get that, and that is a conversation where you can sort of speak to the average transsexual because they are, you know, have access to do all that. But when it comes to the school stuff, I am not on a school board. It's absolutely fuck all to do with me or Rob. Do you know what I mean?
It's everything to do with you, because all humans are inseparable. So we need to stand up for all people at all times. I'm not an LGBT person. I don't have children, but yet I'm speaking on behalf of LGBT people and protecting children.
Yeah, but that still doesn't change the fact that we're not telling kids to bring cat litter boxes to school and call themselves a cat.
No, you're not. And Morgan, I agree with you. I wholeheartedly agree with you. You're not at all. And by the way, you're mentioning trans. This is LGBT and everything under that umbrella. Gay people, queer people, people that identify being a woman. Like, it's not just trans. I don't want you to personalize this to you, because this is no way an attack on you or Rob or LGBT. It's an attack on the agenda and the way that it's changing, and the way that they're using this vehicle of the organization as the excuse to why we can't. And a lot of people attack me just because I'm brave enough to just speak my opinion. I don't care, Morgan, if every single person after this call calls me
I definitely don't think you're homophobic. I wouldn't say that you're homophobic at all. I don't think you're homophobic in the slightest.
Well, thank you for that, Morgan. That means a lot to me. Thank you.
No, of course you're not. Go on, Rob.
We've gotten shit from both sides as well. You know, I've had people say that, like, they don't believe that I'm gay, you know, and stuff like that, because they can't believe what I'm saying, you know. And then I've had the extreme opposite, whereas we've talked about before, I've had some really bad homophobia from supposedly awake individuals, you know, and I've had the evangelical people come in and telling me that I need to, you know, repent and stuff I've had it from everyone. You have too, so we know this, and we're all going through this kind of trauma because we are speaking out, but we're just frustrated because we're doing everything we feel we can, and it's still not enough.
We're just a drop in the ocean, and these bastards have media and corporations and stuff where they can blast it all out and tarnish us. So it's a really difficult fight.
And that's why conversations like this are so important, because then people get to see them and listen to real people, real LGBT people as well, talk about these issues, and not just these fake, protesters or, these actors that you see at these protesters that just scream in people's faces. I mean, who are they? Do we really even know who they are? They could be anybody, but they make everybody look stupid, and they shut down people wanting to talk to each other, because then they'll get a message from someone like me who they would think is one of these far lefties. I'll send them a voice message and they'll go, I'm not listening to your voice messages. I'm not talking to you. So, and yet they're the ones that are always saying, like, you can't talk to these people. But it's all because the media has just made us crazy about,
Yeah, man. Can I just say, Morgan, as well, and I don't know much about your spirituality, but never doubt the power of just one individual person standing up and making a change. Even the call that me and Rob did yesterday, I've had at least 30 parents in the last 24 hours tell me that next week they're going in to speak to the headmaster just to have a conversation about the sex ed curriculum for their primary school students. And I just think that alone, that's just a conversation that me and Rob had. It was effortless and free, and already 30 people are going to be able to have a change in their whole family, or at least just have like a conversation. And I think after this alone, Morgan, you're going to inspire so many other trans men and women to do what you're doing and have the courage to speak. We could have had a mad war right now. We could have but you had the courage to speak to me and ask me to come in. And that's all that's needed. I hope that I've shown you I'm trying to have the most open-hearted and respectful conversation. I'm a very, very deep Buddhist, and I believe both of you have Buddha within you. I would never want to disrespect you. I would never want to disparage you or tell you how to live, but I would never stop standing up for the children. And I can understand some people do use Save the Children as an excuse to just be fucking homophobic and terrible, but I wholeheartedly don't. I wholeheartedly know. I'm sure you know about adrenochrome, Morgan, and the way that these Satanists at the top level, they're literally taking children's energy. Going back in tribal times, it's the sacred child's energy which they use for their rituals, their Masonic rituals. So I'm very passionate about this, and so yeah, I'm gonna love you and leave you though, because I just wanted to just drop my little
ask you
bit of
one
energy
final
and
question.
just thank you both of you.
What do you think of drag
Please,
queen
yeah,
story
please,
time?
Morgan.
Drag queen
What's that?
story time.
Oh, what,
In library?
schools? As in, like, me personally, I don't think drag queens need to be speaking to primary school students. Personally, I think it's too confusing.
Okay, see, that's why
What would
we
you say to
disagree.
me? What would
I
you say to
disagree
that?
with you. I think it's a clown to a child, but I think the
Times.
twerking and the
What do you
dancing
mean
and
it's a
stuff,
clown?
it can be inappropriate. But do I think, like, I don't know, the odd drag queen, like old, Mrs. Doubtfire type, reading a book to a kid, I don't see how that's traumatizing them.
I respect that. The ones that I've seen I've only seen
Yeah,
little ones. It's happening
that's
in
an
more in America, I
American
see.
thing.
But it's quite, yeah, the American thing. I think in America it's a bit more dramatic, and I'll be honest. In this world, the way we have to be flexible, right? Children should know that this is this exists. We shouldn't hide it. It's just when you start to introduce these, like for instance, I've got my goddaughter. She's in year 6, so I think that makes her 12 years old. She identifies as a pansexual. That's confusing. I only knew what a pansexual was 2 years ago when I was 28 years old. So you can understand how when you introduce these ideas to them, suddenly it could become a reality. And I think, personally, humbly, with respect, a drag queen in a primary school reading is just not necessary. I think that's too confusing. But that's with respect, and maybe I'm ignorant. Maybe children need to be able to be exposed to this. But that's my
Right.
opinion.
Thank you for sharing. It was nice that we managed to have a chance to have a dialogue.
I'm really pleased with so much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Rob, and thank you, Morgan. And if I don't speak to you ever again in this
Have
life, I hope you have the
a good
most incredible
journey.
life and you reveal the most
You.
value and potential. Yeah, man, it's about the journey, man. Trust me.
Love you.
Love you
See you
both, man, and
later.
thank you.
Bye.
Peace.
Bye.
Bless.
I don't know. I think we covered some ground there. I think it was definitely worth the conversation. I do think I don't really see what do you think the right way to go about it is then, Rob? Because I think children should be able to know that gays exist, and some people do have two mummies and two daddies. You don't have to go into the fucking sex acts, but do you know what I mean?
Absolutely, I agree, absolutely. But I think what I think's happening, because I'm hearing from different schools that some of them are claiming that these teachers are not teaching them anything bad and they're just teaching them the very basics and it's nothing bad. And then other schools are saying that they are. So I think they're deliberately doing it to certain schools and not other schools, so that there'll be arguments among people about whether it's even happening at all, so that people will fight and go, well, like, I really believe that something like that could be happening.
Time doing drag queen stories. Why can't drag queens read a book?
I mean, I think, like, I've like going to see a pantomime dame or something like that. Like, again, it's down to the individual, the individual
sexual parents. Yeah. I just think it's hypocrisy that you will take a child to church where they are threatened with hellfire if they do not conform, but a fucking drag queen reading a book is somehow child abuse. That to me is wrong. Do I think teaching children sex acts and genders and all of that in school is wrong? Yeah, I do. I can see that wrong. I can see that. Do I think a fucking library book reading with kids is wrong? No, I think that's bigotry. I hate to sound leftist and use the B word, but it's true.
I know what you mean, but I think the reason why people associate it with that is because they associate drag queens with like adult entertainment, and they also associate a lot of drag queens with, a lot of drag queens do live a lifestyle where they do drink a lot of alcohol and take drugs and have a lot of sex and stuff like that. And I'm not judging.
That's not 2 o'clock in a library, is it?
No, but like, I think the worry for the parents is they're worried that if their children are influenced by these drag queens, that they'll want to be a drag queen, and it's not really the ideal thing for a child to want to be amongst all these other things. Because like it sort of encourages them to go into a lifestyle of alcohol, drugs, that kind of thing, I guess. So that's why that's why I think the parents.
Oh, that is a generalization, Rob. Sorry, but that's a pretty wide generalization.
But that's how people think,
But you could say that about Indigo. You could say, okay, Indigo's black, he likes rap music, so they're all going to become gangbangers. You could stereotype anyone with that kind of logic, can't you? I just think it's hypocrisy at the highest form when you will take a child to church, but you can't let a child then go to a library. It's parents' choice. That's a parent's choice.
I think it's more because people who can see the wider agenda know that aspect of it is attached to the wider agenda that a lot of other people can't see because they're not awake. And I think it comes down to as simple as that. A lot of people are not awake to what the agendas are and where the world is headed. And the ones that are see it attached to that agenda, even if as its own entity, as its own issue, could not be an issue in another scenario, in another world, in a hypothetical world where all this stuff in the world isn't happening right now. But because it's connected to it, people can't unsee it, and that's why it's sort of
fire. Sorry, yeah, go on.
Yeah, that's why it sort of stirs up anger and hate in people, because it's just used to, I've kind of lost my train of thought now, but it's a really.
I'm sorry. I want to involve the people because I know how frustrating it is when you're watching this and you're commenting and they don't reply. Should we answer some questions?
Look through now. I had some questions prepared, but we could just answer questions that are here.
Does anyone have a question for either me or Rob?
So someone's put drag queens at adult entertainment performance. They perform in bars, tell sexual jokes, dress provocatively and dance sexually. Why do they need to be dressed in drag, reading books to kids? So...
Okay, so there's a drag queen called Mama G in the UK. They're completely head to toe covered. They read kids' books in a library with consenting parents, and the children sing along, and it's not like gay books, it's books, you know what I mean? I think some drag performances are obviously inappropriate. Of course some of them are, but I don't think all of them are.
Yeah, but who do you think was behind making those decisions, though? Who decided?
The elite. Of course the elite. Yeah, the elite. But
That's
this,
the
but you have
problem,
to
though,
play them
isn't
at their own game, Rob. You have to play them at their own game. Isn't that what we did with the COVID thing? We played them at our own game. We were exempt. You know what I mean? You have to play them at their own game. If they're going to roll out an agenda, I don't know. I'm just trying to be so many drag queens. They are not interested in readings. No, I wouldn't be if I was a drag queen. I wouldn't personally want to, but do I think it's child abuse? No.
I know so many drag queens and they are not interested in reading to children, and I've seen the life they live outside of clubs. They are miserable drinking and drugs and are not interested in kids. Well, but yeah, like it's like a lot of people, a lot of gay guys and stuff, you know, like a person will bring, oh, like, look at my new baby, and we're like holding, like, oh, great, now take it away, I can't be arsed, we're not interested, we don't care, do you know what I mean? Like, most of us do not give a shit. It's like, it's hilarious, but
I know, I think it's hilarious as well that you live a lifestyle which will not end in children, yet you're apparently massively interested in children. And I actively chose to take hormones and be sterilized, but I'm somehow interested in children. It's like I literally would never have done what I did if I was interested in children.
yeah. I was just thinking, if you want, I could ask you some more. I've got one
Go
question, right?
for it,
Because I
babe.
know
Go for it. I've got 10 minutes if you've got 10 minutes.
we'll have as long as I think this gives you an hour, so we'll just have as long as this allows. I don't know how long we've been on for, but I was going to ask you, what is your opinion on masculine and feminine energies, and do you think it's healthy for men and women to have a balance of both? Because I think
Of
we've talked
course,
about it.
of course, you've got estrogen in you and testosterone. I've got testosterone and estrogen in me. That is the yin and yang. You know, that Indigo said that he was Buddhist. He should know all about that. Of course, I don't think any man is a complete male stereotype, and I don't think any woman is either. I think some people are more than the other, and I'm not saying let's all have a fucking sex change tomorrow. I'm just saying I think it's a bit cringe that you have to just be a complete stereotype of your sex.
Yeah, absolutely. And I hate that with the gay community as well, that, you know, people think of gay men a
Mask the
certain way.
mask. Yeah, yeah.
You know, they expect us to all dress kind of a certain way, listen to a certain type of music. Probably why I've never really fit in with the gay community, the LGBT community, you know, because I'm a musician and stuff, and it's not really my thing, you know. But and a
Yeah.
lot of us, but obviously we just get tarred with the same brush.
What's
But you
your
know,
opinion on it, honey?
with the masculine and feminine thing, well, I agree. I think that like part of being gay is having that opposite gender energy in you. And I think that when people talk about non-binary and things and people having more than one gender, I think it's just a perversion of the fact that this masculine, feminine energy or God, goddess energy that we have inside of us can be fluid in some people, which makes some people more feminine, some people more masculine, some people gay, some people straight, some people gender confused. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it just seems like it's something that's been weaponized because, you know, back in the day, this has always been a thing. Look back in the 70s and the 80s when, you know, rock stars were wearing makeup and stuff like that, and you ask someone like Boy George back then if he was a man, he would say yes. He would say, yes, I'm a man. I'm not denying that I'm a man, but I'm experimenting with what the limits of what masculine and feminine can be, and that was fine. And then all of a sudden this whole non-binary ideology comes in, and it's like it's taken all of that, but it's made it deliberately confusing, and they've put it on kids, which is just bizarre. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah, the
before,
non-binary thing, it's hard for me to get my head around as well.
you know,
I think it's actually quite insulting to transsexuals that have tried their fucking damnedest to try and fit into the gender that they feel. And then you've got someone that calls themselves transsexual as well, and they've not even seen a hormone. They've not made any effort. They've got a beard. You know, you can say I'll always be a man and I look like a man and I sound like a man. I don't really care. At least I've tried. Do you know what I'm saying? At least I'm trying. Like, with these people, it is an insult. Do you know what I mean? It's like someone saying to you, Rob, I'm gay. I just know I'm gay, but you've never done anything gay. You've never had a gay sex act. You've never, you know what I mean? You've never had a gay experience. So don't really claim to be it because you're not it.
well, that used to be quite trendy, didn't it, to call yourself bisexual? Like,
Well,
especially
that's
when
how every gay boy starts, isn't it? They're bi first.
yeah. So, oh, I'm just thinking what else we can. I want to squeeze so much in the time that we have. Oh, right. Do you think there are more people
I'm
on the
gonna get
left?
confused. Is that all right?
Okay. Do you think there are more people on the left who are asleep than on the right? And if so, why do you think that is? Why do you think that typically more people with
I think
right-wing views are awake to
those
what's
on
going
the
on?
left are so conditioned by their victim complex because they are tend to be people of minority status. So they have their identity used against them. So it keeps them in a lower vibration because they're associating with their label and not who they are,
That's
which
spot
is a
on.
human being.
I really agree with that. And it kind of ties
But
into
then
the
I
other
think the
question.
right is also very, very brainwashed. Very.
Absolutely. And I've found that out over the last 3 years. But even saying that, they are still a minority, but at least in the UK anyway. I can't speak for America. But in the UK, the truth is I've met by going to these protests in the Northeast, down in London, Manchester, Liverpool. Where else did I go? Can't remember. Most people have been really nice, and everyone's been very open-minded, and people are really, really awake, and a lot more awake than a lot of the shills that you see on YouTube and even on Instagram. Like you get talking to people, and people are switched on, the real people.
Yeah.
So
Fucked up and that. Fucked up.
let's have a look.
How's
Do you think?
everyone's evening tonight? Are you all having a good night?
Oh, we'll see if Mama's use.
Is someone wanting to join?
Yeah, it's Mama's use. Mama's use is awesome. So hopefully, if we can get her to join, I've talked to her a few times about this. She's got some good.
Hello, lovelies.
Hi, Mama's use. Nice to
Hi.
see you.
Hey, Phoebe. You know what? I've been trying to tune into your live for the last 10 minutes. For 10 minutes, all it showed that was a blank screen. Couldn't hear nothing, just a blank screen. I
It's
know. I know
Joking.
that they're missing out on the fabulous. They're hating. IG's hating on the fabulousness. Right. So we've got everybody here. We've got Madam over here. We've got you, and we've got me. Old and tough boots. Let's go, babies. Let's go. Because what's going to happen is this. They are going to set the cat amongst the pigeons in the gay movement. People were getting on just fine. Nobody cared anymore. It wasn't the most of the stigma was gone. Yeah, most of the stigma was gone. There'd be no problem with you going somewhere or you I don't know what do I call you, baby girl?
Oh, Morgan.
Morgan. Okay, you forgive me. I'm old. Yeah.
No.
Makeup, but the eye makeup.
Oh, thanks.
Right. So I told you ages ago, didn't I, sweetie, that when they let those pervs attach themselves to the gay movement, it's all going to go downhill. Didn't I tell you?
Yeah. We've had conversations about this before,
Do you
and
think fucking Johnny Blue Collar, Mama Lotus, how you doing? Do you think Johnny Blue Collar is going to stop and ask if you are who you are and you are who you are? I'm going to find out. They are going to whip them up. Yeah, just the same way the left have been whipped up into a frenzy, the right are going to be whipped up into a frenzy, and those dirty politicians, yeah, those dirty scumbag, pervert, child rapist politicians, yeah,
Yeah.
are going to throw the gay movement under a bus when they've worked so hard not to be victimized, to be able to be who they are. I mean, like 30 years ago, you couldn't have gone to a straight pub and seen a male gay couple sitting there relaxed, talking to the other people in the pub. Yeah? Yeah, you had to go to a gay bar, whether you liked it or not. Yeah, and that was it. You could be gay. Now you are gay
It was
and you can go to,
segregated.
right. Thank you. That's actually the way to put it, right? And now they're redoing. They're doing damage. They're doing damage because they hit us with the COVID ski for 3 years. Now it's the fucking climate change. Motherfucker, motherfuckers, what climate fucking change? Yeah, we had the Pleistocene age, we had the deluge. What fucking climate fucking
we've got paper straws now, so we're fighting climate change because we've got paper straws.
Yes. Look what Mama Lota says. It's a new witch hunt. You see? Oh, Mishkina. How you doing, Mishkina? I can't even say the name. Links. Yeah, Mama Lotus. Look what she says. It's a new witch hunt because them same motherfuckers that are pushing this upside down, perverted agenda are the same motherfuckers that came and chased us all, fucking put us on the fucking piles, burnt us and took our fucking cows and our fucking land. Cunts. I said it.
Mama, is that your name?
Baby.
Sorry.
Yes,
How did you wake up to, you know, the elite and everything?
Oh, Baba, I can show you pictures of me 5 years old protesting outside the American embassy. I was brought up in politics.
Living at large.
Right? But, yeah, and listen, I'm one of the few females that can say that she worked in heaven. Yeah, you know Charing Cross?
I've heard of it, yeah.
Well, how many females got to work there in the 80s? Not many. I've even I wanted to get something one night and they took me into the leather bar, and that's like, you know, you got to be leather. I fucking like that. I was a bit trippy. I was like, they treated me ever so nice. I'm just saying, people are going to do what they're going to do. And for straight people as well, don't be hypocrites. Because from you get on the porn channel and watch anal sex, it's sodomy the same way. So shut your mouths as well, right? Let the people be who they are. You don't know what their story is, how they are, why they are. Maybe they're born like that. Maybe that's how they felt as they're growing up. Just let them be. Yeah, don't be hypocritical. Yeah, it's fuckery. It's fuckery. Yeah, I don't want to go to Tesco's and see the fucking rainbow flag with the pedo flag in the middle. I don't want to go to Tesco's and see that. They're not getting my money. I'm telling you, they're not getting my money. Fuck them. I'm going down Abdul's shop, down to the Habibi shop. Fuck them. That's what's going to hurt them, because you see, they're trying to justify it with, oh, well, the board of directors and they have to do this and they have to do that. And you've seen those posts about the money, the chain of money, and this is why they have to promote the thing, yeah? Okay. Well, nobody, where are you going to go now and gay people are getting beaten up? Nowhere. But it's going to be, it's dangerous, because a lot of people are going to get hurt for no reason. Yeah, because the pedos want to attach themselves to the movement. Fuck off.
I agree with you about that. I definitely think there have been nonces, for want of a better word, that have used our legal protections, and not only that, they use the language that we have used in our civil rights movement. Do you see what I'm saying?
Thank you. And not only that, yeah, not only that, all those fucking little fucking, I'm just going to say this, it's probably going to offend everybody, but all those, yeah, ungodly Jews, the ones that don't got God in them, that they just like, I'm Jews, so I'm special, yeah, those little entitled fucks that have attached themselves to the movement and decided that they're gay. Don't. I knew the fucking fiercest trannies, they would put a 6-inch stiletto in their heads for just even trying to say they're gay. They are not gay. They are not non-binary. Well, if it's only fucking, yeah, how come when you have the operation, you can be male or female, isn't it?
You're certainly a character.
If you know anybody and you know who Linda Queen is and Bieber, they were the first to transition in this country back in the 70s and 80s. Okay? So I don't know what this lot of fucking going on with. It's bullshit. It's actual fucking bullshit. I knew the best of them. There was one that used to go out in roller skates and a tutu. She looked a bit kind of beastly, but she made a lot of money. But anyway, we're not going to go there today. We're going to keep it political. Oh, big fat pearl in the tutu and roller skates. She used to make a lot of money.
I just think it's fucked up. I just think
it is fucked up, because you shouldn't have to watch your back. Yeah, you should not have to watch your back, right? Listen, if I was in a nightclub and you came up to me and I don't know you and said, please, can I come into the ladies with you, because then men over there is like fuckery, I would take you into the ladies' toilet with me. Yeah? Do you understand what I'm saying? There shouldn't have to be a problem. You know what? Problem solved. You look love the gay trans movement so much, you fucking hedgerists. Yeah? Make an extra toilet in your fucking bins for the non-binary. There you go. Problem solved. Because it's not you that's going in the fucking bathrooms, or you, yeah, that's not interested in children. It's them. The fucking rapists now are saying that they're non-binary. So that's not fucking helping. I'd be furious. I'd be fucking furious. It's the truth.
I tell you what, I am fucked off. I am fucked off. Like I said to Rob, when you see a brick, I call them bricks. When you see a brick tranny, so basically Dave and his wife's knickers, trying to have the same legal protections and stuff and claiming to be me, when I have got, you know, I'm not showing myself off, but I've got like breasts and I've really tried and I've had surgeries and hormones and I've legally changed, you know what I mean? And then you think that you're going to put on, like to quote you, honey, a fucking tutu and go mincing on into the toilets and then think you're the same as me.
He's not the same as you. They're taking the piss. You've been through mental torture, love. You've been through mental torture, rejection, stigma, and I don't even know what else. And I'm not saying this to be horrible or nothing. I'm just saying I can feel it. You've been through hell and back, yeah? And they want to come and ride on your tailcoat? Hell no. Where's my lighter?
I mean, it's hard to disagree with you, isn't it?
Well, I'm not saying nothing horrible, though, am I? I'm not
no,
saying
you're not. You're not saying nothing horrible. My heart goes out to those trannies that are a nightmare looking, because it is difficult if they, you know, have tried and stuff. But that just falls down to life's unfair. Do you know what I mean? You have to...
Listen.
I don't see why women should have to put up with it to that extreme where it's not fair on women to have to sacrifice that.
I used to look after a tranny. I used to housekeep, look after everything, yeah? And the women friends that she had would always find their way there when their husbands had beaten them or there'd been domestic violence or something. We'd all go to, that's where we'd end up, and that's where we got refuge. Do you understand me? There was like a bond, a friendship, yeah? I've known some of the kindest people I've known have been trannies, and I don't mean trannies. That's what I grew up calling trannies. I don't know about this trans thing, and we called them trannies, yeah, and done. You think anyone would come and tell me anything with my 6-foot mouth walking along? She'd fucking knock them fuck out. You couldn't say nothing to me. My mouth would knock them out. Mad things. You know what it takes for me to come on here with you, yeah, to show that it's not just a one-sided thing. This is bullshit. So they want to go for the children. They want to poison us for the fucking RNA. What's it called? Gene therapy. Get the fuck out of here. What therapy? Genes don't need therapy. We good. Thank you very much. We good. We don't need your therapy. And their fucking digital currency. What is man then going to do with all them shoe boxes of fucking money?
Do you not think, though, Mama Jean, do you not think that it's a distraction?
Oh, yeah.
With the tranny stuff and all that? It's a distraction because Bitcoin is about to come out.
Oh.
They're trialing universal basic income now. And it's the cashless agenda. That's what's happening in the background. Meanwhile, we're debating 1% of the public constantly. And don't get me wrong, there is a debate to be had with trannies. But
you're right.
It is blown out of proportion. It is blown out of proportion. And I'm sorry, I don't give a shit what anyone says.
It's blown out of proportion, and you're absolutely right. And there's no argument here. We're not here to argue. We're not here to cast no shade. I don't need to cast shade on anybody because I can look at myself and find plenty fucking wrong there. Yeah, and that needs fixing. End of. Because who is perfect? Let them fucking cast the first stone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if they're really fucking bad, let them smoke the last one. Cunts.
What do you have to say to that then, Rob?
Well, at the end of the day, they're trying to divide and conquer on the population, but they're doing divide and conquer on the truth movement as well. So this is happening but then it's good that we can have these conversations and we can actually talk properly and fight against it so that we don't fall out over stupid things, because when the shit really hits the fan, we're going to have to come back together and we're going to have to be able to face each other, you know.
I've got to say,
after all the
I'm sorry, I've got to say this. You look absolutely gorgeous. You look absolutely, the makeup is absolutely...
Hey, me? I thought you were talking to Rob.
Well, I'm not wearing makeup, and I certainly ain't wearing makeup. I've got a body. You look lovely, darling. No, you got listen. I'm not being funny. Right? And are you familiar with one of the oldest traditional tarot packs that we have in the modern world? Is the Arthur? Is the Rider-Waite? And if you look at the Rider-Waite, they've taken it out now. But the world was like a naked body, but it was like a hermaphroditic body, right? So it's.
Well, I
Look,
believe, and I said this to Rob, in the occult, the Baphomet with Elphys Levi and Helena Blavatsky and all of them, they worshipped duality and the Baphomet. And I think there is a power in the yin and yang and transsexuality. And I think that's why the elites do sometimes, not all the time. I don't think every fucking person in
I'm just
Hollywood
going
is
to
tranny,
disagree
but
with
I
you. They're
do
not
think there
elites.
are
They're
secret
scum.
trannies.
They're not elites. They are fucking scum. They're not elites. You're an elite. You're an elite. I'm an elite because we're one of the
Yeah,
kind.
you
They
are.
are not elite. They are scum. They are fucking scum. Listen, what do they have in India? What do they have? They have the hijra. The hijra are groups of trannies that go around and they clap and they sing and people give them money as a blessing so they don't get cursed. Now, why would they give them money if they did believe that they could curse them? Yeah, there is the power in the transsexuality, which is a thing for unique people. It's not a thing to be bandied about, right? But you see the left and the right. Let them fucking start. I'll be in front, goose stepping in front of them. Yeah, I'll be goose stepping in front and say, "Come on, cunts." Let's go.
Are you worried, Mama G? Are you worried about the cashless agenda and the transhumanism and
No,
the
because I will
implants
go into
and
their
stuff
houses
like
and I
that?
will fucking rob them. I will knock down Ginger on their fucking door and I will rob their cunts. And as for
I
the
see you getting
transhuman,
chipped. I see you getting chipped. I see you rolling your sleeve up and taking the chip, Mama G. That's what I see.
no, darling, no, darling, no, darling. You see me? Let me see. Let me show you. Let me show you me, darling. Yeah? All you got to
Yeah,
me.
right
Let's do
here
it.
it's going to be Mama G and there and that. You
Let
might
me show you. Let me show you. Let me just.
Oh, she's such a character.
See that? See that? I'm fucking playing
Oh my god! This is so going to be demonetized. You can't put a meat cleaver on here.
I'm gonna have to
Yeah?
back up this video. I don't think it's
Listen. Yeah? I come from a people that survived 400 years of brutal Ottoman occupation. Yeah? Fucking hell, the Hitler had to come in and finish the job because the Italians couldn't do it. Right? Yeah? I come from a people that told the Persians to fuck off. Right? Yeah? So I don't care. And yes, you're welcome. We gave gayness to the world. You're welcome. Thank you.
So,
Okay.
do you mind me asking, what is your heritage? Sorry.
Greek Egyptian.
Oh, right.
So
Oh,
I ain't got
gosh.
no worries
I
about
love
that.
Greek islands.
Right? I ain't got no worries about them. Kick me. They'd have to fucking drag me out of my house, baby. They'd have to drag me out of my house and literally put it in me. Me? Bow down to the beast? Are you crazy? No, sir.
You ain't bowing out down, honey. You'll be bending over to the beast. We all
No, I
have
won't be
to.
bending over because you see me, I don't sleep on my knees. I will take them out with me. How you mean? They were coming, they were phoning every 5 minutes on the council saying, "You're eligible for the you-know-what, the jibby jab." I said, "No, it's only tobacco, I ain't got nothing," right? They were phoning me telling me I'm eligible for the jibby jab. I said, "Phone me in 2023 when the trials are over." Yeah. And when they tried to start with me,
say, I have zero regrets in not taking the vaccine.
I never took it. Are you crazy? I never took it. I didn't even wear a mask.
No.
Yeah?
I
go to the shops and they go, "Mask?" I said, "Is you a doctor? Is you a fucking doctor, mate? Fuck off."
the mask.
Well, I said, I've not fought my entire body being a transsexual to have a fucking shelf stacker tell me to fucking what to do with my face right now. Piss off. I'm not wearing a mask. And I didn't. And I didn't.
And this is what they're afraid of. The fierceness of the tranny, the fierceness of the gay. They don't like it. They don't like it. They don't like it. They don't like
guys,
it. Where are you? Are you in London, baby?
Stop. this and then record and go for another live if you want to wrap it up.
I
Go
can
on
do
then.
one more. Invite me back.
All right. Go on then. Go.
Back on and invite you both on in a bit.